Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for watching the show. This is the Top Human Rights Organization Review and the first episode of the new year, so thank you for joining me. Now, to start the show and the new year, we look at an article from Amnesty International. Now, for a lot of us, the new year is a fresh start or a new beginning, and we use it to set resolutions to better ourselves. Unfortunately, not everybody gets that chance. And the year 2017 is looking dark again for bloggers, journalists, and human rights activists in Saudi Arabia. Now, in recent weeks, a number of activists have been detained or appeared in court for their peaceful campaigning of human rights. Now, here's a direct quote right from our article today. Human rights activists in Saudi Arabia are an endangered species. One by one, they are vanishing, prosecuted, jailed, intimidated into silence, or forced into exile, highlighting the authorities' zero-tolerance approach to freedom of expression, said Lynn Malouf, Deputy Director for Research at Amnesty International's Beirut Regional Office. Now, what makes it so absurd, ladies and gentlemen? Well, I'll tell you why. This is just absolutely absurd. It's peaceful dissent. What peaceful dissent is expressing your disagreement in a non-violent manner, in a perfectly legal way. Peaceful dissent is sending out a tweet, a Facebook post, or a blog post about how you don't agree with the actions of your government or of any other individual of that matter. Now, some human rights activists in Saudi Arabia have actually gotten into trouble supplying human rights violations information to human rights organizations. On January 10th, Abdulaziz al-Shubali, a human rights defender and a founding member of the Saudi Civil and Political Rights Association, also known as the ACPRA. Now, he was sentenced again to 8 years in prison in connection with his human rights work. He had faced a number of different charges, including communicating with foreign organizations and providing information to Amnesty International for use in 2 of its reports. Now, what makes this even more outrageous is they're charging him like a terrorist, like he had something to do with some form of national security, that he threatened national security. And what's even more absurd is that every member of the ACPRA, his human rights group, has been prosecuted or jailed as well. Now, here's another quote directly from the article from Lynn Malouf. Saudi Arabia's relentless prosecution of human rights defenders is a blatant campaign aimed at deterring them from speaking about the human rights situation in the country and working on behalf of victims of violations. Human rights activists who have been detained solely on account of their human rights work should be immediately and unconditionally released. Now, I couldn't agree more with Lynn Malouf. Why is this important, ladies and gentlemen? Well, these individuals are trying to just get the word out about human rights violations in their countries. Abdulaziz is only one example of a number of individuals who peacefully expressed their opinions or supplied information, non-national security threatening information, to organizations and have been punished for it. He is only one of a number of other different individuals who are still being detained and jailed today, some without any charges, some without any court date, and some being held in incommunicado. Now, what that means is it means without communication of a third party, so people know where you're being held and why you're being held. Now, why is covering this story important, ladies and gentlemen, for the beginning of the new year? It's extremely important. This is a repression of freedom of expression or freedom of speech, and to start the new year like this is absolutely outrageous. Now, the reason why we're covering it here at the Global Institute for Democracy and Strategic Studies is because we don't want these human rights activists' work to go for nothing, to be for nothing. These individuals have worked and now have risked their lives and detainment and jail time to get these human rights violation examples out there, to get this information out there to the world. Now, it would just be insulting if we let their stories fade away. If you're watching this video, I'm assuming you have connection to the internet. Please all you have to do is Google human rights violations in Saudi Arabia. You just have to search it, and you will find a number of different examples of what is going on in this country. That is why we're making this video today, ladies and gentlemen. So these human rights activists' work and the time they're spending in jail doesn't go for nothing, doesn't mean nothing. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you would like to look at this article yourself, you can find a link directly below in the description. I encourage you to do so. It'll take you directly to the article on Amnesty International's website. When you do that, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel so you can get notified every time a new video is posted. Give our Facebook pages a like, follow us on Twitter, or you could do all three. But thank you for watching, ladies and gentlemen. This was the first episode of the top human rights organization of the new year. It's going to be a good year. Help me make it one. Thank you for watching, ladies and gentlemen. I was your host, Bryce Dolan.